They called us prey, a species of fragile bones and soft flesh, barely worth notice in their vast galactic order. To them, humans were nothing more than the curious little animals that learned to talk. But then they saw us fight, not for territory, not even for survival. We fought because something inside us refused to kneel. They saw what happens when the universe backs a human into a corner, and learned that predators aren't defined by claws or fangs. They're defined by will. If that line hit you, you're in the right place. Welcome to Best HFY Stories, where humanity doesn't just survive the galaxy. We redefine it. Hit that like, subscribe, and share button if you believe there's more to being human than just existing, because tonight, we're showing the universe what happens when prey remembers it has teeth. It began on a quiet dawn, on the colony world of Eden 9, a blue-green paradise built by tired hands that had fled Earth's wars. Children were laughing, farmers were waking, and the biggest worry was a broken irrigation drone. Then the sky tore open. 3 alien ships descended, sleek and predatory, their hulls glinting like knives in the sunlight. They called themselves the Drav'kari, hunters of the outer rim. To them, humans were a curiosity, a soft-bodied mammal that built pretty cities but lacked claws. They didn't invade for conquest. They came for sport. They dropped nets instead of bombs. They took colonists in cages for entertainment. The humans begged, resisted, screamed. None of it mattered, until one soldier, Captain Juno Hayes, slipped their grasp. Hiding among the trees of Eden 9, she watched them drag her people away. Her hands shook, but not from fear, from memory. The Drav'kari didn't know it yet, but they had stepped into the hunting grounds of a creature that had once wiped out wolves, stalked titans, and turned survival into art. For the first time in centuries, humanity's old instinct stirred, and the galaxy was about to remember what that meant. Night fell over Eden 9. The alien camps glowed faintly across the valley, filled with laughter that sounded like metal scraping bone. The Drav'kari hunted for sport, toying with captured humans like predators, circling helpless prey. But they had forgotten one thing. Even the smallest flame can burn a forest. Captain Juno Hayes crawled through the mud, silent as the shadows themselves. Her heart beat steady, not in panic, but in rhythm. She had once trained on Earth, where soldiers were forged in ruins and hunger. She knew patience, she knew fear, and how to use it. The first alien she met was tall, armored, confident. He turned his back to check his scanner. That was his last mistake. One flick of wire, one pull, a breath. The Drav'kari fell without a sound. His body disappeared beneath the ferns. Hayes whispered, "Not so fun when the prey hunts back, is it?" By dawn, 3 more were gone, vanished, dragged into the woods like prey animals. Panic began to spread through the alien camp. They didn't realize it yet, but their perfect little hunt had just turned into a nightmare, and humanity had just claimed its first kill. By the 3rd night, the hunters stopped laughing. The Drav'kari were seasoned predators. They'd conquered jungles, hunted beasts twice their size, but now something invisible was stalking them. Every motion triggered light flickered. Every sound in the dark made their mandibles twitch. The fear they once inspired had turned back upon them. One of them, Commander Sarath, ordered a scan of the forest. All they found were human heat signatures, scattered, moving fast, coordinated. "Impossible," he hissed. "They're prey animals." No, Captain Hayes had become their teacher. Using salvaged gear and primitive traps, she turned every inch of Eden 9's forest into a living lesson. Wire traps, thermal decoys, controlled fires. She didn't just kill, she studied them, learned how they moved, how they reacted, how they panicked. The Drav'kari couldn't understand it. To them, humans were supposed to cower, but now They were hunting in packs, silent, disciplined, merciless. When one alien corpse was found hanging upside down with the word "run" carved into its armor, the message was clear. Predators weren't born. They were made, and the Drav'kari had just made a species that remembered how to hunt. It started as whispers over the Drav'kari comms. Static-filled calls cut off mid-sentence. Patrols vanished. Drones returned without pilots. Something unseen was dismantling their hunt piece by piece. Then came the fires. Juno Hayes led what remained of her people through the night, using old Earth tactics: hit fast, vanish faster. They sabotaged landing crafts, poisoned supplies, and jammed transmissions. Every attack was surgical, cold, deliberate. One alien described it before dying. "They watch us. They don't blink." In orbit, the Drav'kari flagship watched as their surface forces fell silent. Reports called humans feral, relentless, unpredictable. They had studied us through biology, through data, but they never understood our mind, the quiet, terrifying persistence that only a cornered species knows. When the first human counter-broadcast hit their frequencies, the galaxy heard it. "You came for sport. You found war." Across the stars, other species tuned in, watching prey become predators in real time. That night, the hunters fled into their ships. They thought the nightmare was over, but Juno looked up at the sky and whispered, "No, now it begins." The Drav'kari retreated to orbit, humiliated, shaken, bleeding. They thought leaving the surface meant safety, but humans had learned faster than any species they'd ever met. Within hours, their own ships began to fall. A stolen Drav'kari fighter burst from Eden 9's atmosphere, human hands at the controls. Hayes's voice echoed over open channels. "You taught us the rules of the hunt, we just perfected them." Missiles streaked through space like arrows of ancient wrath. One ship shattered, then another. The hunters screamed through static as humans, the supposed prey, took command of the battlefield. When it ended, silence reigned. The Drav'kari survivors limped home, their legend broken. And throughout the galaxy, whispers began. Do not hunt the humans. Do not corner them. They remember. Back on Eden 9, Juno stood beneath the dawn, her people free, her world burning but alive. She looked to the stars and said quietly, "Predator? No. We're something older than that. We are human." That day, the galaxy's food chain changed forever. If this story made you proud to be human, hit that like button and share it with your fellow spacefarers. Subscribe to Best HFY Stories, where every tale reminds us what humanity truly is: curious, stubborn, and utterly unstoppable. Because out there among the stars, the universe may call us prey, but we'll always show them what an apex predator really looks like.